Hi, everyone. Welcome again to another webisode of Brave Love at Home. Thanks for watching. Today, our conversation is with Lauren Dove, who works at a law firm, an adoption law firm in South Carolina, and we hope you enjoy. Yes, Lauren, can you just tell us where you work and what you do?
Yeah, so I work for a family building law attorney. I work for James Fletcher Thompson, who goes by Jim. But I am a licensed social worker, and then we are in South Carolina, and so I have an extra credential by our state as a certified adoption investigator. But I work at our law firm as a adoption counselor on the adoption side of our practice, but then also on the surrogacy and gestational carrier side of our practice as an educational support for our carriers.
Got it. Well, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So can you just walk us through what the adoption process looks like for an expectant mom who contacts your law firm? Like, is she typically calling you guys, or has she already connected with a family and this is the firm that the family is working with? Just kind of paint the picture of what the process looks like and your involvement with her.
Yeah. So the short answer is yes to all of those options.
Sure.
So for instance, sometimes I have an expectant mom call or text me or email me saying that she's considering adoption and wants information about the process, whether that's just a phone call and I don't hear from her anymore, or I walk with her throughout that process, including helping her find the right family for her. And then our law firm also handles, so say she got connected with, an agency that's outside of South Carolina, and then, delivery time comes and that family needs to hire a South Carolina attorney, they may reach out to our law firm and then connect the expectant mom with me just for some additional support, somebody that's in state who can be a personal connection to her.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so both of those options.
Okay. So what does it look like from, let's say, a woman does contact you? What does some of those kind of steps look like from, let's just say she's 5 months pregnant, Are you meeting with her and kind of, tell us what those steps kind of look like if she's wanting to learn a little bit more about adoption and then she does pursue an adoption plan.
So that initial contact would be either a phone call or, texting.
Sure.
Just providing additional information about adoption.
Yeah.
And then if she wanted some more information, then making sure to set up a time to meet with her. Mm-hmm. Some women prefer to come to our office. They may not have shared their pregnancy with a lot of people and want to keep it a little more private. Some have, 3 other children at home, and the idea of getting out of their house is a little intimidating. So sometimes I'm going to their home or, meeting them for lunch. Mm-hmm. Basically just kind of whatever they are needing and whatever feels right for them. Mm-hmm. And then just providing what kind of support I can throughout that, whether it's taking them to doctor's appointments or if it's just, hey, I've got some questions. Let me call you. Let me talk to you. Then to play that out a little bit, when it comes time for that hospital time, I think that's a really important time of making sure their needs are heard. Not every mom wants baby in the room. Not every mom wants baby in the nursery. Mm-hmm. So making sure to kind of get those needs down on paper, not that it's set in stone, but then to communicate that with the hospital just so they know to check in with her and see what she wants that time to look like, but also communicate that to the adopted family so their expectations are set from the beginning too.
Yeah.
And then providing that support afterwards too when she may still have additional questions or just need somebody to talk to.
Yeah. So what does your contact look like? Because you are with her. You're with the expectant mom advocating for her. What does the contact look like between you and, I guess, the adoptive family?
Yeah. So usually if they are looking for us to help connect them with an expectant mom. Once that connection has been made, usually I'm giving them updates on my interactions with her, what questions she has for them. When everybody feels ready, scheduling some type of meeting, usually in person, that I'm also at, because I know I'm usually the only one that's done that before, and everybody else is super nervous. So, being there for them to help let them get to know each other, and being that intermediary a little bit. And then, just still keeping them up to date as we get closer to delivery. Once delivery's occurred, help them know, does she want space or does she want you at the hospital? That varies with every situation. And making it clear to them that that's her time and that's her decision of what kind of involvement they have in this.
Yeah. Alex, did you have a question for Lauren?
Read my mind. I was going to ask you, so for expectant moms that may be watching this and maybe they're already working with an attorney, what questions do you think they need to be asking themselves and the attorney that they may be currently working with?
Yeah, I would think that they would want to ask their attorney, the specifics legally of what adoption looks like in their state. Do they have a revocation period? Do they not? Jim represents the adoptive families at our law firm, and I can tell expectant moms loosely, and explain what the laws are, but I can't interpret that because, one, I'm not an attorney, and two, I represent or work for the attorney that represents the adoptive family. So at our law firm too, we also offer any expectant mom that we work with the opportunity to talk to an attorney that doesn't work for our law firm and help make that contact. And so those are things that I always recommend that they ask is, what are the legalities? What are the ramifications of my decision? What does openness look like? Is that legally enforceable in your state or is it not? And not that should make or break your decision necessarily, but so to get that those expectations set with you and the adoptive family in the beginning. Talk to that attorney about the birth father situation. If he's not been involved, does he have to be? What options do you have as far as that goes? Just so specifically what your options are and you're well informed of those options.
Yeah. Just because I think you're in a unique role for there to be a social worker at a law firm. So will you just share kind of what you enjoy about your work and the people you get to know?
Listen, I can talk about my job all day long, so sorry for anybody watching this if it goes on for 5 hours. But I think the interesting thing specifically about my role, adoption is a hybrid anyway of law and social work.
Yeah.
I can't finalize an adoption. I can't go to court with an adoptive family. But Jim, the attorney I work for, that's his job. He is making sure this is done legally and ethically, but he needs somebody to make sure that everybody's emotions are in check and that everybody has the right supports, that, there's been a needs assessment done to see what this mom's needing as she considers adoption, also to make sure she's not pressured into it. She's got her questions answered. So, walking with somebody during the hardest part of their life is something that I'm honored to do. And, I feel like I'm the least important person as far as the adoption process goes, but I want to offer that help to them any way I can. So I think that's the unique part of it. And, being able to also see these stories work out wonderfully. Our law firm's done adoptions for 30 years, and I'm in contact with some moms that we worked with, 19, 20 years ago. So to be able to talk to them and hear them say, this was the right decision for me. Not that it's easy by any means, and not that they are just happy 24/7. I mean, they're, 20 years later, you're still grieving that decision. But they still know that it was the right decision for them, and they still know all of this time later, they can still call our office and feel like they have the support they need.
I love that. Okay, I have another question for you that you probably didn't expect. And if you feel comfortable answering it, I would love for you to reshare because you shared it with me the first time we spoke. But will you tell everyone how you got into this work? I feel like there's a personal story to it, or a personal aspect to it with your family. So can you share that?
Absolutely. So I was in undergraduate school. I was studying psychology and not really sure what I was going to do. For anybody who's going into psychology, you can't like get a job just with a psych degree. It just doesn't happen. You've always got to go and do something else if you want to work within the field. But I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And my sister shared that they were going to adopt. And for the first time in my life, I mean, I knew about adoption. I had friends who were adopted. But for the first time in my life, I thought about the woman who would be carrying my soon-to-be niece or nephew and thought, what kind of supports does she have? Who knows in her family? Are they happy about it? You know, who's walking this path with her? And all of a sudden it made me realize, okay, I think I want to work with expectant women who are considering adoption and offer that support to them. So I went to one of my one of my professors and told her, I think I want to do this. And so she told me that I needed to get a master's in social work. And I did.
And here you are.
Yep, here I am. So it's been a really, really rewarding job. But it's also one of the hardest jobs. I mean, you know, you're seeing people at their worst or at their, you know, hardest point and walking that through with them. And there's some really, really hard days, but it's also, you know, I feel like comforting to know, hopefully, that they feel like they got, you know, the support that they needed and that they were able to make the right decision for them, regardless of whether that's adoption or parenting at the end of the day. You know?
Right. And so I thank you for caring for women and providing just the support to them during one of their most kind of vulnerable times of life. So keep up your amazing work. Is there anything else you want to add or mention before we close?
I mean, I'm so thankful for what y'all do and the you know, the advocacy that you are doing just to make sure people know what adoption can look like. You know, I think it's just important for women to know that there's no specific box you have to fit into with an adoption plan. It's literally really what you want it to be.
I love that.
And you know, I think just also knowing if you're considering adoption, no matter who you reach out to, I think it's important for you to know that at the end of the day, that adoption counselors typically we're happy for whatever decision you make. I know more than half of the women that call our law firm choose to parent, and I'm thrilled for them as long as they're able to make a decision that they feel confident about.
Yeah.
So that's my hope for, you know, any woman that's considering an adoption plan, that they're able to connect with somebody that has that same goal for them.
I appreciate you saying that. That's awesome. Well, we'll talk again. You have a good day.
Sounds good. Y'all too. Bye, guys.
I hope you enjoyed our conversation with Lauren. Thank you for watching. And just keep watching. We have more conversations to come. And they're really interesting. Or at least I think they are. So hopefully you do too. So y'all have a great day. Bye.